See, the first time I really admitted to myself that I knew that I was called to consecrated life, I was about 9 years old. I think I'd known a lot longer than that in my life, but my little sister had started calling me Nunnal. And one day I had to admit to myself that my reactions to that name were all around the fact that I knew somewhere deep in myself that one day I was going to be a nun, and that I was terrified of that as an option. I really wanted to get married and have a family. So I didn't want anyone else hearing me being called that, because then they might put pressure on, because I felt like it was something really obvious in me that this was my call. It's interesting looking back now over my life, how that's changed. I couldn't see it happening at the time, but I can see now that as I grew older, the more I got to know and love Jesus, the more open I became to the sense of a vocation. I remember still having that same kind of terrified reaction when I was about 11, but by the time I was 13 or 14 and I had a deep encounter with God and begun to get to know Him in a personal prayer life, I was more open. I was able to see that this was a privilege, and it was something that I could at least appreciate intellectually, even if my heart was still desiring marriage and family. I look back then to age 17 when I'd been on that journey with Jesus for a few years now, and again I had that renewed sense of call, and for the first time my heart responded with complete joy that this was something I really desired to do, to give my whole heart, my whole life to Jesus forever. It became an attractive option, and an option that as I've grown over the last 10 years or so has only become more beautiful and more desirable as my relationship with Jesus has grown.
Hi, I'm Julie from the Philippines, and it's my 3rd year in the MGL Sisters. So my discernment of following God through consecration or religious vocation started before World Youth Day 2008, and it was intensified after World Youth Day when I got back to the Philippines. I prayed a lot, and I was talking to lots of people like priests, nuns who are faithful to their faith and to God. So including lay people, I was talking to them. So I was hungry of silence, so I went on a retreat with spiritual direction, and I also spent an hour in adoration. So I kept asking the Lord, what do you want for me? What do you want me to do in my life or with my life? And then I realized, given with chances, whether it's bad or good, I realized, and I listened closely to my heart as well, that the deepest desire of my heart, or how and where to find joy in my life, is also the message that God has been telling me. So they met. So I took the step. I trusted in His words that He will take care of me and of my decision.